What's cracking with y'all? It's your boy Prince the Hustle God, Prince Wise the Hustle God, aka Chief Low the Madman, and we reaching in our combat tool bag one more again. Yes, sir. It's a cold black affair. Shout out to the mighty LDBC, LDBC only, LDBC or nothing, LDBC everywhere, LDBC versus everybody. Do me a favor, family. Subscribe, like, shares, follow, support everything. LDBC, TWT, and Trilitary. Do me a favor, support my OGs, OG Black Fight Fan, OG Black Fight Fan TV, OG Kano Local Sports TV, and OG the General 7A Sports TV. There are three ways to support the channel, family. Three ways to support the channel. Um, but first, before I get into that, welcome back to the boxing breakdown interviews. Three ways to support the channel, family. Three ways to support the channel. Way number one, shopusualsuspect6.com. Shopusualsuspect6.com. We have combat tool bag gear, an array. We have different seasons of gear, if you will. Um, we have combat tool bags. We have shoes. We have hats. We have a little bit of everything. Aside of combat tool bag gear, support me. Support all of the usual suspect six. All of the usual suspect six. Please do. We all are greatly appreciated. As well as check out my OG Kano Local Sports TV. His gear is up there as well. Way number two. Way number two to support the channel. We have the Hustle Guide series on Amazon.com. Queen Tay Tay, Sweet Tay Tay, how you doing? Way number two to support the channel. We have the Hustle God series on Amazon.com. You can type my name in, Michelangelo Turner, or you can type in Hustle God series in Amazon.com. You'll find a 4-book series. It's a financial literacy series for all levels of entrepreneurs. And we have a third way to support the channel. The third and final way to support the channel is you can sponsor a creator, you can sponsor an athlete by diving into the Cash App. The cash tag is Hustle God or money sign Hustle God Inc. That's money sign Hustle God Inc. And we also have another Cash App down there, money sign HFO School, I believe. Um, Everything is in the description. Those are the three ways to support the channel, family. I wanted to welcome you guys back to another boxing breakdown. This is boxing breakdown interviews, where we'll be going behind the scenes and talking, getting a little bit more personal with fighters, coaches, um, promoters, platform holders, anyone related to combat. So we'll give you a little bit of insight on that. Today we will have a great young man named Don Stewart, very strong fighter, um, great heart. Uh, Thank you for dropping that link in there, sweet thing. Um, yes, a great person as well. Don Stewart, you guys will get some insight on who he is, why you should support, why you should back him up, and we should be looking for him shortly. Uh, Before we get into that, the interview, I did want to say congratulations to Clarissa Shields, the motherfucking GOAT. We gotta love her. 3 times undisputed, made a defense, and she is officially not only the face of boxing, but the best in boxing history right now. But welcome, my brother. We got Don Stewart in the motherfucking building. How's it going, brother? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Mike? Doing good, man. My bad. My phone was hooked up to my Bluetooth.
Oh no, you good. You came in at perfect timing. So just as a like an intro, a little bit about me and a little bit about us in this platform. So we got a little under a little bit over 400 followers here. I'm a member of the LDBC, an affiliate of the TWT, and a member of the Trilitary. Um, Here you can say the similarities between those communities as we all support our own. We all love our own, and we're hardcore combat fans. So that said, I wanted to introduce you to the world, or and introduce you to our community, and get them familiar with you. I see you
Okay.
got a lion heart, a fighting spirit. You're really a beast, and yeah. So to say the least, let's dive right in because I gotta spare your time. It'll be under an hour. So who are you? Where are you from?
I'm Don Stewart. I'm from Saint born in St. Louis. I'm living in St. Charles right now. Um, I'm 36 years old. I started fighting late in the game. I started amateurs back when I was 17, on and off boxing, and then when I really didn't start competing until I was like in my late 20s, 28, 29, and then turned pro when I was 33, 32, 33 is when I turned pro.
Okay, okay. So before we get in a little bit of depth, a little bit about me, I found this when I got out of jail. I found this about the age you start. It was you said you were 28 ish when you
Yeah, I was
started
yeah,
fighting.
when I started amateur boxing, yeah, when I did my amateur
Okay,
career,
yeah,
I was
and
20,
that's and
20,
that's
20, about 27, 28.
yeah, 27, 26, 27 is when I got out of jail and I started boxing too. That was about 2017, and then 2018 is when I would say I started fighting in the amateur. So that's pretty cool that we have that in common. So
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about your amateur background, your amateur career, seeing as you started late, and it don't get no later than what we started. You feel me? So getting into the game and competing with people who've been competing with it since they were six. What's that like? Talk to us.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, man, like starting, you know, like I say, when I started boxing training, I was 17, 18, but I was just on and off in the gym, man. I never really stayed dedicated to it. I would go in the gym, train for like 2, 3 months, and then I wouldn't be in the gym for like 6 months, 7 months. And then everybody always told me, like, man, how much you weigh? You need to be somewhere boxing, you need to be somewhere fighting, man. Not a lot of 130 pounders built like you, or what I'm saying, or strong like you know. And so when I got back into it when I was 27, I kind of was like getting back into it. I felt good. I felt like, I'm still in shape. I always been in shape. So when I was 27, I got back into it. My amateur career actually went better than what my pro career is going right now.
Yeah,
Amateurs, I won a lot more in the amateurs. I got got a belt, got a bunch of trophies and stuff in the amateurs. I only had 10 amateur fights when I
yeah,
started, before I turned pro. I not a lot of open experience, but I did gain a lot out of amateurs because it's just going in there and you just basically just bang, you just fighting. You just fighting
yeah.
hard. It's really
Real
not a
quick,
whole lot. Yeah.
real quick, 1 second. Uh, D man, salute loco. Um, Tay Tay, thank you for stopping by. Just so you know, there will be throughout the interview a couple people with platforms like Tay Tay, the queen of MMA. She has more subs than me, and they'll share the live stream as well as a lot of people catch it on replay. But there will
Okay.
be some questions that you see appear in the chat, and if you want to address those at your own liberty. You can stop me. Um, and I like to say I also had I had 8 amateur fights and I had one MMA fight and so it was 9 amateur fights basically total. So that's another thing that me and you haven't similarly. Um, just for the people watching this, he said and he hinted at his amateur career has been a lot more successful than his pro career, but you'll see later in the interview um, other similarities that we share as far as uh, matchmaking, different weight classes, being the B side refing, B side judging. There's a lot that goes into this, so that is not something that we as hardcores pay any attention to be honest, because records are not reflective of your greatness. It's really the
Exactly.
competition and the level of competition that you're fighting. So how did you get into boxing, bro?
Man, honestly, you know, always been athletic, man, and my whole family, man, like I just like all my cousins, everything, like, from East St. Louis, man. Like, we just all fighters, man, down here in St. Louis, man. Like, so basically, my dad, basically, it just was in my blood, just naturally, you know what I mean, to be a fighter. But basically, I mean, people laugh when I tell them, but man, like, one reason I start fighting is because I'm a short dude, so you can't be how to fight. Like I always tell
That's
people, man,
real.
and yeah, but my sports growing up back when I was in high school, man, was baseball. I had baseball scholarships, and then I ended up tearing my rotator cuff, and that took me out.
Wow.
That ended that. And then I love football, but running, I was 5'3" in high school, 115, 120 pounds, man. It
Hmm.
wasn't no future in college football because ain't nobody drafting no 5'2", 120 pound running back,
Right.
So that's when but I always knew I was athletic. I was always the smallest dude on the field. Even when I play football, I get hit. I'm the first one getting up, running back to the huddle, ready for the next play. So
Hmm.
that bug got put in my ear back when I was about 16. About, man, you should be boxing. You built like this. You should be. Why you ain't boxing? And then I kind of let it linger on for a little bit. And then as I got older, people was always telling me like, man, you built like a boxer, you built like a fighter, because you know how most of us us little guys, how
Yeah.
we built, man.
Yeah.
We did. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go and let me go and take my, let me go and get in the gym, and just see what I got, man. See what kind of dog I am, man. You know, and just really not being afraid to just get in there and just go for it, man. Because I'm one of them type people, man. I would rather go for something versus just sit back and think about what if I would have did this, or
Exactly.
what if I would have tried it, man. I don't never want to be that type person.
I'm the
So
same way. Like part of what drives me is one question, and that what stops me from being great? What stops everyone from being great? And I feel like the fearlessness approach that you have with boxing and that you have with trying things, I think that that's another thing that we have similar. I can't go through life and wonder if I never before I got into boxing I had 15 years of acting experience. I've won acting competitions. I've directed plays. I've done musicals. I've done it all. I couldn't think. I couldn't imagine going through life and have never done any of those things. Performed with Oscar Award winners and Tony Award winners and shit like that. Same with
hmm
trying to compete at the highest level as a warrior. So that's extremely commendable. What kept you boxing? What was the moment that was like, yeah, I got the fucking bug.
shit, really, man, boxing, it helps me more outside the ring, man. It helps build character. It just it strengthens you to your fucking core, basically. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like, things that I try to account, or things that I'm going towards outside of the ring. Like I always say, man, that fighter's mentality that you bring outside of the ring and things that you're trying to do and accomplish is just very important to me. I had an interview. This was back when I was in the amateurs, man. I had an interview. I forgot the guy's name, man, but it was a good interview. And he told me, he was like, you got athletes, which is like baseball, football, basketball, hockey. I played all them sports when I was growing up as a
Yeah.
kid. He said you got athletes, and then you got super athletes, which is fighters. And now that I've been in the ring on the amateur and the professional level, like, that's one of the truest things that somebody's told me, because the mentality of a fighter, man, in a sense, it's a solitude sport. You got your coaches, you got your team, but when that bell ring, man, we already know it's just you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you got the judges, and I know a lot of fights sometimes get swayed. You don't always get a fair shake, but the judges ain't taking the punches. The ref, I mean, the ref ain't taking the punches. You in there taking the punches, whether you win or
Exactly.
lose, and all that, man. So that's why I was like, boxing is it just helps strengthen me to my core, man.
Hmm. So, what are some of your dreams, your expectations, your aspirations from the sport? But before you answer that, uh, Look, he said you little niggas always ready to fight. Um, for sure. The Queen said, "What weight class you fight at, champ?" Yeah, what's your target weight class?
Well, right now I'm gonna stick to like 126, 130. When I fought out in Orlando, when we fought on that card, I cut. That was the lowest I ever cut was to 123.
Mhm.
I didn't feel bad going into that fight. I mean, I honestly, I was in there with a young dog, and like I said, with me being, I'll be 37 this year. So obviously, I'm getting older. My reflexes, a little bit. They not what they were back when I was in my 20s. You know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah,
people say, they always say, father time is undefeated. Eventually, it's gonna catch up to you one way or another.
that's true.
But I'm gonna stick to like probably 126, 130. You know,
Nice.
I don't have like I walk around at like about 135. So
Mhm.
126 is probably like my ideal weight. I can make the
Yeah, and
123.
you're muscularly dense, so it's like you don't want to be draining your muscles. You don't want to have your muscles feel like raisins in there. So I can
Yeah,
understand why you want to kind of alleviate your body on some of the struggle of extreme cuts. But yeah, what are
exactly.
some of your dreams and your aspirations and goals in the sport, especially seeing as you hinted at your age?
Well, basically, man, just I want to keep pushing myself. I just had a fight in Jeff City um
And don't
against a
go into
younger cat.
detail on that yet. Don't go into detail on that yet, because I want to ask you about how that went, because I know so, but I want to
Okay.
save that. But yeah, so give me some of your dreams and aspirations, though. Yeah,
Okay. I mean, before I finish the sport, man, I just want to keep getting, just really just go hard and make sure that I'm staying focused when I'm getting in the ring.
hmm
I know when I first started my pro career, I kind of just jumped into it. Because I was just anxious because I knew, you know, time is really against me, so I'm just kind of like jumping into fights. But now my approach, since I've had 14 professional fights, is okay. I want to make sure I'm ready going into the ring, and really just be at this point and stage in my boxing career, just be the best that I can be right now. That's really all I can ask for right now with the
yeah,
sport. So, and
that's
just
what I like to
continue to
hear.
just build that, yeah, and just continue to build that mental strength, man. That boxing, just the fight game period, man. MMA, man, I respect them guys too, man. Which I know it's a different topic, but I think Dana White, man, I think he kind of messing the game up over there. Hey, paying them guys.
Yeah,
But
man. Yeah.
yeah, but
So
I mean,
real quick, because I want to be considering of your time, but I do want to get as much as I can out of you. So,
yeah, yep.
um, your last outing, bro. Talk to us about how that went. Talk to us about leading up to that too. Tell us a little story about your last outing.
My last fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my last fight, man. I'll be honest with you, dude. It was kind of interesting, man. Like the guy, okay, the guy that I was supposed to fight, I had a draw with him. This was back last year, back in October. We had a draw. It was a 4 round fight, and a week we were supposed to have a rematch, May 20th, in the last month, and a week before the fight, he backed out. It was supposed to be a 6 round fight. I told him like, hey, my manager called me and was like, hey, um, let's go ahead and get this rematch set up. And I told him, I said, all right, the only way I want to do it is if we go 6 rounds. I don't want to do 4 rounds this time. I want to, what I'm saying, we'll do 6 rounds because it was a draw. I thought I won the fight. But anyway,
Yeah.
he backed out of the fight a week before it. And so they put another opponent in, which kind of made me think like, damn, like, did he think he was gonna did they know he was gonna back out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like before the fight, because it was with the same promotion company or whatever. He was signed with the
Yeah.
same dude. So leading up to the fight, I just was like, you know what? Fuck it, man. I've been training and I know I'm bringing my A game. And that's my mentality now going into these fights is regardless of who they putting in there, I'm bringing my A game and I can live with that. You know what I'm saying? and that's really all that matters going into the fight game, man. And a lot of times I knew whoever they put in there, my A game was gonna be better than their A game.
Hmm.
So I mean, I felt good going into the fight, man. I had been training. I wasn't taking no days off, and I felt good.
Hmm. So that was leading up into the fight, man. And how did it go? Tell the
Yeah,
people how you came stepping.
yeah. I mean, it went good, man. I got the second round TKO. I stopped him in the second round, man. The first round, first round was kind of crazy, man. Like I knew going into the fight, he was going. He was tough. He was swinging. He was swing. He had some decent power, man. I ain't gonna even lie, man. I got caught. I got caught with in the first round a little bit, but I ended up dropping him in the late end of the first round. And I knew after that,
Shit.
he was gassed out, he was tired. But respect to him, man. It was a good entertaining first round. We put on, for the crowd and on the show and everything like that. So it was a good fight. It was a good fight.
And you got the stoppage in the following round. You dropped him in the first and stopped him in the second. Good
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
So
Yep, yep.
so how did you form your team and who's involved in helping you grow?
Yeah, well, right now I'm training. I'm training out of Two Good Boxing, with my trainer Mike Woods, and that's the gym that I train with back out here at home. He actually been my trainer and helped me get my amateur career started, and kind of got me the experience. The fights that I did get back when I was in the amateurs. But
Hmm.
this last fight was in Jeff City, and I really want to give props to he a retired professional boxer, Jesse Bryan. He actually worked my corner for this fight, and
Nice.
he actually worked my corner for the when I fought the guy Amon Oates. They called that fight a draw. That was in Arnold, and Jesse worked that corner too. A guy named Jesse and a guy named Steve. And what I'm saying, I want to give props to them, man, because they some good guys, man. It's just some good hearted trainers, man, that actually give a
Mhm.
fuck about the fighters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And kudos to you real quick because it says a lot about your ability to adapt and your ability to listen. Because you could have a world class coach in there telling you what to do, but if you're not listening, if you're not applying it, then it's not going to do you any better than if you have a complete novice there. So your ability to listen and actually execute what they're asking for is the only reason that you're able to have a coach who's able to stand in place of your coach. So kudos to you and kudos to your coaches as well. Um,
Uh,
do you have any stories coming up in the game? Any hard learned lessons from the sport? And if so, how did those stories or how did those moments change you?
um, I, I mean, I just want to say, man, like, just I mean, everybody, everybody that you fight, man, is just, like you kind of, even though you lose to them, you kind of earn a level of respect. You know what I'm saying? Like you look back at the fight, and you just kind of see what you did wrong. Because when you in there, man, it's like that's why like I like to go back and look at my fights because when you in there and sometimes when somebody throw a punch and you hear in the crowd and when the crowd going, oh, when they just throwing, they could be throwing wild crazy, they can be throwing haymakers
Right, throwaway
and it
punches.
yeah, and it could be touching you, but it's not hurting you. But the crowd going crazy, but then all of a sudden you can get caught with something that actually hurts you, and the crowd's silent and they don't know. You know what I mean? So like just little things that you just pick up on when you go back and watch your fights and you watching the video and then you know how you felt at that moment. When that person threw that when you go back, if they threw that right hand or that left hook to wherever, and you like, okay, damn, the crowd went wild, but I didn't even feel that shit. But
Right,
then, you know what I mean? But then like somebody will throw something and you like, man, I actually felt that. And then the crowd
uh-huh.
ain't doing nothing. So you kind of especially being a B-side fighter, one thing I learned, man, a lot of times when you're a B-side, you're going out to these other states, man. You can't, you got to stay calm, man, because anything that A-side throws, the crowd gonna go crazy. So it's important to just stay calm, man. When you in there, and just don't believe the hype all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And just
Hey
try to
man,
stay focused. Yep.
that's very good insight. Like I can take that to heart, so I know that that's valuable information for people watching and people who will catch the replay. Um, what's next for you outside of boxing? Like, like things that you're interested in hobby wise, and then what are your plans for after boxing? Outside of boxing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I drive trucks too, man. So eventually I'll probably trucking company. I drive trucks also, and I got a commercial window cleaning business that I do on the side also. So I'm
Nice,
all
nice.
about yeah, I'm entrepreneurship, man. I feel like it's very important, man, especially the way corporate going nowadays, man. Like a lot of people leaning towards entrepreneurship, man, and I love it.
Yeah,
You know, I love when I see these jobs, man. I'll be on these billboards urgently hiring because yeah, they can't they can't find nobody to work because everybody
mhm,
kind of working for themselves, man. Because I
yeah.
mean, you got to have multiple hustles nowadays, man. You got to have different stuff going on, to get
Multiple
ahead,
streams
man.
of income, passive income. I know exactly what you're talking about. I got a 4 book series on financial literacy and the importance of it. So you
Yes,
you
sir.
you preaching to the choir from another voice. So on the track in the maybe the dispatching side, or do you see yourself just getting more like on the fleet side, the owner operator, and getting a fleet and having the
Yeah,
other a dispatcher
probably
for yourself?
more so the own. Yeah, probably more so the owner operator side, man. I do got a
Nice.
homeboy, man. That's I think he getting ready to tap into the dispatch side. I haven't honestly, man. I haven't really looked too much into the dispatch side, but I heard it is good money. That's something that I'm
I'm on
gonna
it.
look into. Yeah, that's something I'm gonna look into. But for right now, owner operator. Owner operator
Yeah,
side.
we're gonna talk behind the scenes, but just just think about it as lower overhead and more lateral scaling than direct scaling. So it's cheaper on the investment side, and then it's cheaper to sustain growth, a consistent growth through the dispatch side. But
Okay.
that's not boxing, and we here to talk boxing.
I
So
got.
that's beautiful, and that's great news. We're obviously going to get a part two because I'm trying to keep these things short, replay friendly. But we got to get a part two, obviously, an update. The people are going to fuck with you. Before we get to our last few questions, I do want to ask, one second. Yes, is there anything you want to let the people know about your next fight? Do you have anything planned coming up? Are you making yourself available for something coming up? Because this community are not only fans and as well as boxing insiders, but a lot of these guys book fights themselves. A lot of these guys are matchmakers themselves and coaches and promoters themselves. So, what's next for you? Is there anything you want to help promote? Or is there anything that you're looking forward to?
Man, right now, I'm just staying in the gym, man. That's all I'm focused on right now. Like I say, I'm tired of taking fights on weak notices and knowing that I'm not ready. I'm out of shape because a lot of my
Yeah,
fights, that's how I lose. I wanted my next fight, whether especially if it's over the road, win, lose, or draw, going the distance, and they know that I'm here to fight. You know what I'm saying? It ain't going,
yeah,
a lot of my L's I've been taking over the road, man, has just been I'm just giving it. I'm just literally just giving it to them. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
That
yeah,
shit done, man. You know.
man. I learned a lot
So
from
I,
you, man. I learned a lot from you here today, dude. Real shit. I appreciate the time, cuz I gotta ask you something else. I can't just get closing information on that, but one second. Yeah, man. Another thing. What keeps you committed through the toughest times of it? in this sport. I mean, just like you said, it's a sport of solitude, and most of the time it feels like lows because you're training alone, and you don't often get to hear uh, how you're progressing. You only get to see that in massive leaps of success. So, how what keeps you fighting? What keeps you going? What keeps you
Shit,
committed?
it's like it's a dose of medicine, man. Like basically, it's like I say, literally like a dose of medicine, man. You know, because a lot of fighters, man, we have things going on outside the ring. You know, but the training, in a sense, it is kind of a way of life, man. You know, it's like
Yeah.
therapy in a sense, man. You know,
Yes.
so like I said, I mean, it's basically therapy. You know, I needed to help keep me going. I needed to help keep me growing stronger. You know, and keep me grounded, man. You know.
Times. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Sometimes it freezes and glitches like that. Yeah, we cut out for a second, but I want to keep it short and sweet, man. We going to redo this again after your next fight. Just give me an update on your next fight. I'll make a post in the community settings for your next event so that you'll have some LDBC love and support and attention and eyes on you. But yeah, tell the people how they can follow you, how they can support you, and how they can keep up to date on what's next for you.
Yeah, you can follow me on Facebook. I'm just Don Stewart, and then Don Stewart or D1 on Instagram. You know, I'm really not on Instagram a whole lot. I'm mostly on Facebook, so you can follow me, add me on Facebook. You know, and just follow me from there. So
Do me a favor after we get off, just DM me your Facebook handle and DM me your well, I got your IG handle just so I can put it inside the description. So
okay,
I'm gonna change
all
this
right,
up
Mike.
and
I
basically
appreciate
boxing
you.
interview. Oh, no problem at all, man. Any last words, or closing words? These ain't your last words, cause we're gonna have you back, and the people are going to follow you and stay in touch and keep supporting. So definitely keep an eye out for LDBC members, for TWT members, and members of the Trilitary. But any closing words, anything you want the people to know about you or to know about your spirit before you jump off.
I mean, I just want to thank people for supporting me, man. You know, people like you know, the fans, you know, people that you just, you meet on short notice. You just have a quick conversation with them, and then you end up here, you know. So
Yeah.
I just wanna thank people for that, and shit, I got that fighter spirit inside and outside the ring. So
Yo, I appreciate you so much for taking the time to come join us to share a little bit of yourself with the world. Um, People like you, similar spirits, keep me fighting too, in any way I can possibly. You know, whether it's in the ring, whether it's bodybuilding, whether it's pumping out content like this. The LDBC thanks you. The TWT thanks you. TWT is the winning team, and the Trilitary thanks you. Um, you when you're ready, you can hit the X to exit out. I'm just going to pretty much do a commercial and close out for the
okay.
people. But again, thank you for your time, bro, and until next time.
All right, Mike. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.
All right, bro. Thank you. Peace.
Yep.
Thank you guys. This is the boxing breakdown interviews. That was Don Stewart, a good friend of mine, and just as he said, we kind of read each other's spirits whenever we first met, and just chopped it up. And I knew he would be someone good to share with you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoy the sit down with Don Stewart, boxing breakdown interviews. We're gonna keep this setup coming. It's going to be boxing breakdown interviews. Again, salute Bruce Gas. I apologize for being late on that. And salute everybody who stopped through and catch the replay and will catch the replay. But yes, we're going to keep up the boxing breakdown interviews. We're going to keep up the boxing breakdown film study. Look for that. We're also going to have some fitness videos. You guys are going to see a little bit about some fitness programs here on this channel, and a whole hell of a lot more. Again, thank you guys for stopping by. Support, subscribe, follow everything LDBC, everything TWT, everything Trilitary. There's three ways to support the channel, family. Three ways to support the channel. Way number one: shopusualsuspect6.com. Shopusualsuspect6.com. Pick up some combat tool bag gear. Pick up some usual suspect 6 gear. Pick up some of my OG Kano Loco Sports. Pick up some his gear. Support the movement. Way number two to support is we have the Hustle God series. It's a financial literacy series about financial freedom and for all levels of entrepreneurs. You can type in Michelangelo Turner. You can type in Hustle God in Amazon.com, and you'll find a 4-book series there. Starting with the Hustle God's Linguistics of Money, ending with Hustle God Art of the Hustle. Way number three to support the channel, you can sponsor a creator. You can sponsor an athlete by diving in the Cash App. It's money sign Hustle God Inc. We have another Cash App, money sign HFO School. Money sign HFO School. Money sign Hustle God Inc. Thank you guys so much for spending this little over a half hour with us. We have so much more to present, and yeah, fuck with us. You successfully reached in your combat tool bag one more again. It's a cold black affair. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. LDBC only. LDBC versus everybody. Till next time, y'all. Deuces.